The graph of the function g is given. And as we know, g is the same thing as g of x. So I'm actually going to call this g of x. And to tell you the truth, I wouldn't have called this y. I actually would have called this g of x. But the book wants to do what it wants to do. So g of x is given. I want to find g of -2, g of 0, and g of 7. So g of -2. Now, if you notice, g of x is the same thing as g of -2, which means x is -2. So if I go here and I go to -2, I go up to see what my y value is. My y value is 4. So g of -2 is 4. Now I want g of 0. G of 0 is going to be right here when x is 0. And we're going to end up getting 4, 5, 6, 7. So g of 0 is 7. And if I want g of 7, 5, 6, 7, that's going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. G of 7 is going to be 4. Now let's go to B. B says, find the domain of G. Well, the domain of G, if we look at it, is going to go from here to here. It's all the x values that it could be. So I can input this guy and anything over to this one, but if I go a little further, the function doesn't exist, so that's not a part of the domain. So it's going to go from -2 to it looks like 8. 6, 7, 8, yeah, 8. So it's going to be -2 to 8. And if there's not open circles, we know that it's included. All right, now let's try C. C says, find the values of x for which g of x equals 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to g of x equals 4. So if I want g of x to equal 4, that means I want my outputs to be 4. And everywhere my output is 4 is going to be here, here, and here. So it's going to be x equals, now the first one, it looks like it's going to be -2. The next one is going to be here, which looks like it's going to be x equals 2. And then the last one is going to be right here, which is going to be 7. And we already knew that one, mainly because of this one right here. Now let's do D. D says, find the values of x which g of x is greater than 4. So pretty much what I'm doing is I look at 4 and I want to know where g of x is going to be bigger than that. So it looks like it's going to be between here and here because that's all bigger than this right here. So that's going to be from -2 to 2. So we're going to go from -2 to 2. And it says it needs to be bigger than 4. So we're not going to include -2 and 2 because that's where it's equal to 4. And then we're going to have another piece, which is going to be right here, from here to here, which is going to be from 7 to 8. E says find the net change of g between 0 and 7. So that pretty much means how much did I change in height from 0 to 7, which is going to be from here to here. So what we know is net change is going to be your final spot. So that's going to be g of 7 minus g of 0. So g of 7 is going to be right here. G of 7 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then minus g at 0, which is going to be right here, which is 7. So that's going to be -3. What that means is from here to here, I went down 3 spaces. And if you look, the beginning here and the end here, we went 3 spaces from here to here. So that's what that means.